Jesus, a lembrar-te de mim quando entrar no teu reino. Que Jesus falou com ele, hoje, meu filho.
There's a good chance that the young men we met at the police station will end up here, attending one of these services, a jailhouse mass for convicted drug traffickers.
Tem homem que largou fuzil, tem homem que largou a maconha, tem homem que largou a cocaína e tá cheio da presença de Deus. Quem quer levantar?
To one local preacher, these men are more than just prisoners. They're also his parishioners.
Não contra o traficante, mas sim pelo espírito que atua na vida do traficante. Eu não luto, eu não olho, consigo olhar para ele e não enxergar aquelas armas, aquelas bombas, aquelas granadas. Eu consigo enxergar uma pessoa que está ali dentro pedindo socorro, ajuda e não tem como sair. Vai queimando, deixa eu ficar amarrado, vai queimando, mais fogo. Vai queimando, mais fogo.
Pastor Andrea Assis is a trusted man of God here in Rio. And as such, he is able to invite us to see something that few outsiders will ever witness. Seu trabalho parece que é trabalho perigoso, porque o pastor vai assim, em áreas de bastante violência. We are headed into a favela run by one of Rio's drug gangs.
Mesmo eles usando fuzil, granada, pistola, eles têm temor pelo Evangelho de Cristo.
The pastor tells us that we are being allowed to film in this favela on one condition. Filming the traffickers themselves is off limits.
So the pastor's saying that when you cross the train tracks, we have to turn off our cameras because the traffickers are all there. That's where they sell their crack.
Crack was only introduced to Rio in recent years, but it's already reached epidemic proportions.
It's one of the craziest things I have ever seen. Literally dozens of people just lining the train tracks, just smoking crack. You can see them with their lighters. It's like a convenience stand. You basically just walk in, and there you just have these little bags wrapped with crack inside, and it's just one after the other people coming and buying crack. And it's just like this all day, 24 hours a day.
As we film, we are escorted everywhere by young drug traffickers who overlook our every move. The pastor leads us into the heart of a crack den. The pastor hopes to free these souls from the grip of addiction by exorcising their demons.
So it's like a sauna here. It's really, really hot, and the smell is awful. Everybody just looks like they're out of it. You can see that they're like not even looking. They're looking out into the horizon.
Em nome de Jesus, sai! A segunda legião, pai. Em nome de Jesus, sai! A terceira e última. Em nome de Jesus, sai!
Crack now accounts for 60% of all the drugs sold in Rio. And that means big profits for the dealers. It also means that the traffickers will not go quietly.
We're heading in to meet with some drug traffickers. For the safety of the community and our own, we've been asked not to identify this favela.
Isso aqui é uma R15.
We're heading into a favela to meet with some drug traffickers. For the safety of the community and our own, we've been asked not to identify this favela. We've been told that there are two ground rules. We cannot ask where the drugs come from, and we cannot ask where the weapons come from.
Filming with Rio's drug traffickers is a dangerous proposition. In 2002, a Brazilian journalist was burned alive for filming undercover without the traffickers' consent. But today, for the second time, we've been given the blessing by our guide to the underworld, Pastor André Assis. Upon arriving in the favela, we are met by a group of young traffickers, wearing shorts and flip-flops. They're also carrying pistols and automatic rifles. We're told we aren't allowed to film until their leader arrives. For more than an hour, we wait. Finally, the man in charge approaches, along with a lieutenant. And then, the interview begins.
Como é que estão as coisas na comunidade desses dias?
Graças a Deus, sempre Deus na frente, fica tranquilo.
Sempre Deus na frente?
É, pô. Se não é Deus, a gente não é nada.
I asked about the operations that are now targeting drug gangs like his.
O que você acha da UPP?
Ah, isso aí é fachada, pô. Isso aí é fogo de palha por causa de bagulho de Copa.
Vocês têm medo que a UPP venha para aqui?
Não tem medo nada. Isso aí, se for de vir, vem.
The men were unfazed, and perhaps with good reason.
Você já viu coisas feias, né?
Com certeza. Essa vida é assim mesmo.
Que tipo de coisas você já viu?
Que a gente não tem paz, pô. A gente, muitas das vezes, somos obrigados a cometer certas coisas que a gente não quer. Até mesmo tirar a vida de amigos, de pessoa que é criado com a gente, mas porque errou, porque vacilou. Tá entendendo? Em vez de eles investir dinheiro lá.
The two gang leaders then say they want to introduce us to the rest of their crew, but instruct us to put the camera away as we walk. As we follow, we see that, as in other unpacified favelas, crack and other drugs are still sold freely in public, like an open-air market for illegal narcotics. By the time we're given permission to resume filming, the sun had set, and the weather had changed.
So we just came into sort of a warehouse. I think it just started raining outside. Just walked in with a bunch of guys with weapons, and right now they're masking themselves. They put t-shirts around their heads because they don't want to be identified.
While we're waiting, the power goes out. When we turn the camera lights on, we find ourselves surrounded by 20 or so traffickers, all of them armed to the teeth.
Vocês andam sempre armados?
É a rotina. 24 horas.
24 horas.
É a rotina. Isso aqui é uma R15.
Uma R15?
É, essa aqui é uma R15, é um fuzil de guerra. Fabricação americana. Fabricação americana, feito nos Estados Unidos. Pistola.
Quanto custa uma arma dessa?
Aqui tá 40 a 50 mil.
No, you're saying that this is a small amount of what they have. They actually have a lot more weapons stored in strategic points around the favela.
Then, one of the traffickers offers up information regarding something we were told not to ask about.
Essas armas vêm lá dos Estados Unidos, onde eu nunca fui, nunca pisei meus pés. Como é que elas vêm parar na nossa mão?
Como?
No Rio de Janeiro. Contrabando, policiais. Então, os policiais que a sociedade acha que é bonzinho, eles que botam na nossa mão isso aqui.
It was a startling accusation, and one that appears to be true.
We have a huge problem of corruption inside the police. Most of guns that goes to narcotics